Mr. Weeks?
Yes.
Miss Peace? Yes. Miss Bernard? Yes. I'm here as well.
Jeannie won't be here tonight, so may we, come to roll call, may we stand for the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No action will be taken at this public hearing tonight. I'd like to read the public notice that was in the Tribune on November 7th, 2024, advertising the legal notice. The Zoning Commission of Bristol Township, Trumbull County, Ohio, pursuant to ORC 519.12, gives notice that a public hearing will be held on the 18th day of November 2024 at 6:00 p.m. in the Township Administration Building, located at Park Drive and State Route 88, to consider the text revisions to Section 5, classification of uses, and to the Bristol Township zoning resolution. A summary of the proposed text, additions and deletions, add side-by-side rear lot or flag lot text as conditional use in all districts. A copy of the full text, additions and deletions is on file with the Zoning Commission and is available for inspection and copying upon request to the Zoning Commission Chairman at 330-889-3282. All persons have the right to appear in person or by representation to give testimony for or against the amendment. Excuse me. By order of the Zoning Commission of Bristol Township, Kenneth Weeks, Chairman. That was okay. We have some guests here tonight. Can we have your name, please?
Jeff Wade.
Jeff Wade.
Wade, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And you know Mr. Chickalo and the guy in the back.
Oh, yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Section 5, classification of uses. I sent the letter to the Trumbull County Planning Commission requesting their consideration of Section 5. The public hearing has been scheduled on November 18, 2024. The Trumbull County Planning Commission met, and I'll read their response to this process. Dear Mr. Weeks, reference Z 2024-30, zoning and text amendment, conditional use updates, Bristol Township. Enclosed is a copy of resolution number 11, 2024-76, which was adopted by the Trumbull County Planning Commission at its regular board meeting on August 13, 2024. Regarding the above-mentioned text amendment, the Planning Commission suggests that the township consult with legal counsel in reference to the comments listed in the Plats and Zoning Committee minutes of November 5th, 2024, a copy of which is attached. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Respectfully, Kimberly A. Vaughn. In my 21 years on the Zoning Commission, I've never had a letter back from the Trumbull County Planning Commission that mentions the word suggest. First time in 21 years. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of it. Resolution number 11, 2024-76, zoning. Whereas the Plats and Zoning Committee of Trumbull County Planning Commission met on November 5th, 2024, and reviewed with the Commission staff all pertinent documentation, research, and data relative to case number Z 2024-30, entitled Zoning Text Amendment, Conditional Use Updates, Bristol Township, and whereas the minutes of this meeting are on file, and whereas the proposed zoning text amendment is in conformity with the Bristol Township Comprehensive Plan, whereas the Trumbull County Planning Commission suggests, there's that word again, township confer with legal counsel to ensure that the limiting of people permitted in rooming houses is not in conflict with the Fair Housing Act approval or disapproval, Ohio Revised Code Section 519.07A. With consideration of the Planning Commission comments listed in Plats and Zoning Committee minutes of November 5th, 2024. The Trumbull County Planning Commission approves the forwarding of the proposed correspondence to the Township of Bristol. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read. This is from the minutes of the Plats Committee meeting. Proposed zoning amendment, yada, yada. Summary. The proposed amendment is being submitted for consideration to add side by side the rear lot or flag lot to a list of conditionally permitted uses in residential R, business and commercial B, and industrial and manufacturing I districts. Add definition for rooming houses and hotels, listing them as permitted in business and commercial B districts. We added the definition. Rooming house is a building or part of a building that offers sleeping accommodation for pay to 3 or more people who are not related to the owner or operator. And I got that from the ORC. Hotel definition. We got this from the ORC also. Hotel means a transient hotel, extended stay hotel, or residential hotel. Hotel includes any structure consisting of 1 or more buildings containing any combination of more than 5 guest rooms that are each approved by the building code official having jurisdiction and the state fire marshal as meeting the requirements for transient sleeping rooms or extended stay temporary residence dwelling units, or as having features of such sleeping rooms and dwelling units within the same room. And such structure is specifically constructed, kept, used, maintained, advertised, and held out to the public to be a place where transient sleeping accommodations or temporary residence is offered for pay. But such structure does not otherwise meet the definition of a transient hotel or extended stay hotel as defined in this section. Hotel does not include agricultural labor camps, apartment houses, apartments, or other similar places of personal residence, lodging houses, rooming houses, or hospital or college dormitories. And then comments, facts to be considered. The Bristol Township has scheduled a public hearing for November 18th, 2024. And they went on with the resolution. Whereas the Plats and Zoning Committee of the Trumbull County Planning Commission met on November 5th, 2024, and reviewed with the commission staff all pertinent documents and research and data relative to case number Z 2024-30, entitled Zoning Text Amendment. Conditional uses updates Bristol Township. And whereas the minutes of this meeting are on file, the proposed zoning text amendment is in conformity with the Bristol Township Comprehensive Plan. And that the Trumbull County Planning Commission suggests that the township confer with legal counsel to ensure that the limiting of people permitted in rooming houses is not in conflict with the Fair Housing Act approval or disapproval, Ohio Revised Code, Section 51907A, with consideration of the Planning Commission comments listed in the Plats and Zoning Committee meeting minutes of November 5th, 2024. The Trumbull County Planning Commission approves the forwarding of the proposed correspondence to the Township of Bristol. History. The addition of Section 44 rear flag lots was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission August 13, 2024. The addition of hotels and rooming houses definitions is new and has not been addressed by the Planning Commission before. I will state that hotels and rooming houses have been in the zoning resolution since its inception in 1956. Yeah, okay. But we never defined it. It was never defined. Ohio Code, staff reviewed the Ohio Revised Code 51902, 51912, and trust that proposed modifications do not pose a conflict. I like the word proposed. Comprehensive Plan confirmed most recent February 2014. Staff reviewed the most recent comprehensive plan for the township, Bristol Township Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 10, Implementation, pages 10-3 and 210-20, which addresses zoning district uses, and determined that the proposed amendment does comply with Township's comprehensive plan. Recommendations based on comments, facts to be considered. Staff recommends that the Township confer with legal counsel to ensure that definitions be added to the zoning resolution do not contain language that are in conflict with the Fair Housing Act 42 U.S.C. 3601 SEQ.
That's the federal one, correct?
Federal law, yeah. Mr. Nader made a motion to suggest Ohio Revised Code 51907.A that the township consult with legal counsel regarding the proposed zoning text amendments with consideration of the above referenced recommendations and comments by the Planning Commission seconded by Mr. Miller. The motion carried. I got that information last week, and well, it was on dated the 13th, which was Wednesday. And I immediately sent an email to Jason Toth asking for his consideration. And Jason, he and I have probably had 5 or 6 emails back and forth on this whole process since it began. And my last one was to Jason last Friday night at 9:30. So it's, anyway, we finally got a response back from Julie Green, who is the director of Trumbull County Planning Commission today. She's been off sick. We had been led down. Jason wanted to know what specific items that they were talking about when they made their recommendation to suggest that we do this. Look at the Fair Housing Act. And Julie Green's response was, "Hi, Ken. Kim updated me this morning on your question regarding our review of the proposed zoning text amendment submitted by Bristol Township for a November meeting. The proposed language submitted by Bristol Township, rooming houses. A rooming house is a building or part of a building that offers sleeping accommodations for pay 3 or more people who are not related to the owner or operator. The language above does not appear at first glance to conflict with the Fair Housing Act, as Bristol Township is proposing to allow this type of land use within its B districts. However, my concern is if a group home type of facility that serves a protected class for pay applies for a zoning permit in an R or PRC or MH district, will it be denied? A group home has no real legal definition, but in my opinion, loosely meets the definition of a rooming house defined above by the township. If a group home facility applied for a zoning permit to locate in an R, PRC, or MH district, then it may be a violation of the Fair Housing Act. See attached HUD-JS on OU PDF, page 4, number 4, and that's 20 pages long, which I'll get emailed out to everybody. Since this appears to be a legal question, my advice is to run this by the Township Legal Counsel for their thoughts on the matter. I may be way off. It may just need some clarifying language. I apologize for the late explanation. I have been ill for several weeks. If you want to call me to discuss, I am available at 330. And I immediately forwarded that information on to Jason today. And his comment was, I now understand the Planning Commission's argument, and it is a valid one. However, it could also be argued that the regulation is written in a content-neutral way and is not discriminatory. This means that the regulation is written in a manner that applies equally to those with disabilities and those without disabilities. If a person with a disability were to challenge the regulation and argue that she should be allowed to stay in a rooming house in a residential zoning district, then a reasonable accommodation to such circumstances would be granting of a variance to that individual. Notwithstanding the preceding considerations, I recommend that the township be able to articulate a non-discriminatory basis for not allowing rooming houses in a residential or non-business commercial zoning district. Perhaps a better way to approach this matter is to remove the reference to a rooming house and add specific rooming house examples which are non-discriminatory that are allowed, such as for fraternity house. Jason?
Can I ask a question?
No.
Do we have any rooming houses on file?
Nothing I know of.
Okay.
But a while back, when Jason was looking at something else in section 5, he commented that we should have a definition for hotel and rooming house. So I thought, while we're doing section 5 now, go ahead and add those 2 things in there, and this just opened up a Pandora's box.
But I thought if we don't have one, we refer back to the ORC. So if we didn't have it,
the federal law supersedes.
Okay.
So that's my tale of woe for everybody. And like I said, I copied Tara on everything. I copied you on most everything else, Doug. on this. It's just been a real trip and a lot of time spent, and I can't thank Jason Hoff enough for his being patient with me, because he was really upset initially because they didn't give any explanation in the original letter that they sent to us as to what they were driving at as far as the Fair Housing Act, what sections. Because, excuse me, the Fair Housing Act is a multitude of many different laws that have been compiled together, and it's just under the umbrella of the Fair Housing Act. So he wanted to know specifically what they were using, put that suggestion in the letter that they sent to us. So
I didn't hear the short-term rentals. That's not part of that at all? Oh, that's completely separate. Okay, all right. Fair enough. I know you've started discussions on that, though, right? Short-term
Yes,
rentals.
yeah.
Okay, let me throw this one at you. This is a lame duck session for the state legislature. They get completely reorganized in January, so they feel there's a shot. They think that Senate Bill 299 might be passed, and that's all about short-term rentals. Basically, takes away anything that a township could do for short-term rentals. It has not passed yet, but they really think it's going to go through. It just like they did with cell towers, they limited some things like that. Brian Wells, same thing.
Well, probably many years too late, really.
Yeah,
But what can I say?
okay. You should know that.
I appreciate that heads up on that. Can you send? Is that coming out of a township?
That's the township trustee book that we get every month.
Could you send me a copy, at least?
Sure, I'll take a pic. Yeah,
Yeah, take a picture and send it to me. And
I'll email it to you.
Send it to everybody on the
absolutely.
commission. With all that said, I don't want to, initially I said we're not going to take any action tonight, or at this meeting anyway, on section 5. So does anybody else have any questions tonight? We'll send all that information out to everybody. Just got the letter today. Trying to put up Christmas decorations and got this and had this, I'm not whining and sniveling, but it just up a few times. Anyway, anybody have any questions on? Do you have anything, sir?
I just had some questions about zoning and stuff. I'll talk to someone after the meeting.
Okay. If there's no other questions, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
We have another meeting though.
Yeah.
I want to turn my computer off.
No, I separate.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Roll call. I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. Okay. Vivian, second.
Roll call.
Mr. Weeks,
Yes.
Ms. Pease,
Yes.
Ms. Bernard,
Yes.
and I'm yes as well.
We'll start the other meeting. We'll take about a 5-minute break.